Guys, this is horrible. Horrible what Bria's done. Her little girl, Carter, is out in the yard by herself with the goats. This is horrible. Bria sent Carter outside with the goats. Carter's walking around the goat yard while Bria's who knows what, napping? Carter! Oh wait, there's Bria. Never mind. Never mind! I thought you had left Carter outside by herself. I was gonna call the CPS.
This is not good. It's too dark for you all to see, but these ducks are eating our plants. I just bought those.
I just bought those. Go on. Get out of here. Go to the pond where ducks belong. That one's not too bad. Look, I've not even put them in the ground yet, or in the planter. They're biting off all the ends. Guys, go away, please. This one over here is horrible. Look at that. Oh, Lester. Why do ducks not live in the pond? Look, guys, I'm not trying to be mean. Look, this is for you guys. There's nothing in the pond. There's not a duck. There's not a goose. There's nothing in the entire pond. We've paid to have an aerator put in. We have it stocked full of fish and minnows and these guys, and over here's gray goose, and there's one over there, and I promise you the back barn, let's just go look. The barn, mark Lester's words, the barn is going to be full of ducks. Well, we don't have to go very far. Here we walking through Petunia and Lola's little yard area. There's Adam or Steven. I forgot that goofball's name. Here's a lot of geese. Okay, a lot of geese over here. They spotted me. Baby, we don't want those. We do not want those. I love you, but get away from me. Listen, I'm sure you're a sweet girl, and I'm sure you have a lot of cute babies in there, but we do not want those. Sorry, we don't want them. 50 ducks in this place. Ah. Well, there's Pablo. There's Pastor Pablo, or Priest Pablo. There we go. I don't know why they're all laying here in the barn, under the tractor. Guess what? I found 4 more. Pablo, take your friends and go to the pond. Oh no. Looks like Pablo has other ideas. You better watch yourself right there, Howard. You're right between, you're the white part of the Oreo cookie. I want to show y'all what me and Jamie did. And I'm a little bit embarrassed about this, but I mean, not that embarrassed, actually. Guys, I hate living in fear. I do. I hate living in fear. But I realize that with all that's going on in the world and the news, it's not so much that I worry about myself. I worry about my kids. I worry about my family members, especially the older ones who are living in a world that's so unpredictable. You hear the president one day talking about, cyber attacks and an imminent threat of cyber attacks, and that doesn't know how that's going to leave us with communications. And then if he didn't come on the next day and talk about food shortages.
Food shortages. Yes, we did talk about food shortages. And it's going to be real. The price of these sanctions is not just imposed upon Russia. It's imposed upon an awful lot of countries as well, including European countries and our country as well. And because both Russia and Ukraine have been the breadbasket of Europe in terms of wheat, for example, just to give you one example.
And we can very likely experience food shortages. And guys, Jamie and I just can't help but worry. And so we send out a message. we send out a message to the entire family. Everybody who we have on our family messenger, 32 family members, and those are the adults in the family. We just tell them what we heard on the news. And we're not trying to scare anybody, but you have this fear, because why else would the government tell you that you can expect food shortages? And I don't know. I'm not going to get into the details of who took it serious and who didn't, but we did. And so we went off to Sam's, and we had to take out a little bit of money, and we bought us what I'm calling just the bare essentials, the essentials, to last us for a month or so in a worst case scenario. In a worst case scenario. And now, hold on, I say worst case scenario. I guess it could be, all I have is enough food to last us about a month in a worst case scenario. But I want to walk around and show you what else we did. God forbid something like that ever happens. We've gotten ourselves so conditioned to living the easy life as far as the electricity, the internet, communications. And so when you see these people in other parts of the world that are going through such horrendous times, it's scary. So we've went ahead and decided to go ahead and make ourselves a bit of we're going to use the barn dominium to make sort of a place for essential necessities, staple foods. And so we did. We went on to the Sam's Club, and Jamie ordered some things that were delivered yesterday. We drove over and bought some things we couldn't get online. We also went and got some storage containers that would keep things, dry. And we got these are kind of like big feed barrels. And this is going to be even more embarrassing. You ready to hear this? Guys, we ordered chicken scratch. And a lot of, we have this thought process that, let's just say one of those things or any of those things do happen. And we do have, in fact, a food shortage. By having chicken scratch will give the chickens a food source. It's cheap. It's very, very cheap. The chickens pretty much take care of themselves. We feed a little bit of scratch in the afternoons, but all day they walk around eating insects and bugs and whatever chickens do. They lay us a ton of eggs. And so I feel like, if nothing else, if in a really horrendous situation, we will have chickens. And the chickens and the ducks and all of the feathered babies that can eat the chicken scratch will continue to produce eggs. And so that's just from this morning's gathering. And so we have eggs, but we have to make sure our chickens stay fed. I don't think there's any way we could ever go buy enough of these kind of feeds to last for months. I don't think there is. Today I got a little bit lazy, and instead of going inside the pasture to do our morning breakfast kickstart to a great day, I just poured a couple of snacks over the fence so everybody can kind of come up and do their little social event, and they can get right to work. Hey, sweetie! I'm hoping that she'll have a sister before long. I fed Santana and Tex over here. Someone asked a question. I think it's a pretty good question, actually. They said, Lester, you always kept saying that you wanted to build that back pasture so Tex could spend time with his family. But now the back pasture's built and you've pushed his family into a different pasture. Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess you are right about that. The thing is, and I, of course, hold on a minute. That is so annoying. Jacob, put your trash where it goes. Not cool, Jake. The thing about Tex over here is there is one advantage that he gets from there without necessarily being right alongside his family. he gets the power of people watching. Oh, guys, there is great joy in people watching. And people watching is a really popular pastime. Now, I don't know about you, but have you ever found yourselves maybe going to the mall, the movie theater, really anywhere out to eat, and you actually have more conversation with whoever you're with talking about the people that you see there? You're people watching. And people watching is a real thing. And so even though Tex may not get as much, 24/7 time with his family necessarily, not yet, Longhorn Lester's is coming. But what he does get a chance to do is stand right there and people watch. Right now he's watching Billy. He's also watching Pawpaw drive around. He's watching Billy's girls, of course. And what guy hasn't gone and never mind. Just saying that the things, and as far as people watching goes, the things that guys watch and what girls watch are probably pretty different. He has the blessing of being able to watch people. In his case, he's watching Billy's girls. And that's awesome. So he can also, if he chose to, now of course we have Santana with him right now because she's about to calf. She's about to have a calf. And we're excited about that. And we have seen so much movement of coyotes lately that I'm just a little bit nervous about her having a calf back in the deep woods. So what I've done is I've brought her up here to the front pasture. So if she does give birth, she'll do it around here somewhere where we're not going to have the same threats of, coyotes and other predators that we would in the deeper woods. So that's what's going on with her. And I've already talked about that in a couple of other videos. Look at my dad. Talk about people watching. My dad watches over his house and all of that side of his property like a hawk. It reminds me of my old Peepat. Now my old Peepat, we've told this story so many times, but it's a good story. My old Peepat, y'all, that's my mama's mom. Peepat was the kind of person that she'd gotten a little bit older, and I'm gonna say maybe a little bit paranoid about just everything and anything and everything. And so Peepat would stand or sit. She had her chair, her special chair was right by her living room window. And she would sit in that chair with the blinds or the curtains drawn a little bit open, just enough where she could peek out of them. And guys, her house was faced. Mom and Dad had put her house, and they had faced it right there at the driveway where she could see and hear everything going on outside. And did she ever? Now, of course, Peepat, we weren't doing texting in those days. You were getting phone calls. But I can't tell you how many times a day my mom's phone would ring and Peepat would say, "There's a brown truck over at Lester's house." Or things like, if Mom and Dad were not home, Peepat would be extra vigilant. And if any of us kids, listen, we are the kids. We're the kids. Me, Daniel, Tina, and Kim. But if any of us went over to Mom's house to get something, to borrow something, to, get a cup of milk for whatever we're cooking or whatever, man, Peepat would call my mom as soon as she got home, or she'd stomp over there and she would let her know everything that happened. I saw Tony leaving out of your house and he had a brown paper bag. It was full of something. Woo! You couldn't get anything past Peepat. Seriously, you could not get anything past Peepat. And so here we are. Peepat's passed. She's passed 10 years ago or so. But here we are 10 years later, and my dad has become the new Peepat. My dad has become the new Peepat. And guys, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I think it's cute, actually. It's actually really cute. It's a little bit annoying. Let's just say annoying. You go up to Mom and Dad's house and you feel like instead of being welcomed and invited, instead you're being looked up and down and wondering what you've come for. What are you about to steal? What are you doing over here? What do you need? What are you coming to take? It's that kind of a mentality that these older folks get. And, oh no, careful with your tail there, buddy. That may be a downfall of me being lazy and putting food right here along the barbed wire fence, is that our munchkins with longer tails can sometimes get such tails caught up in fencing. I should have thought about that. I'll be more careful. But no, my dad has become the new Peepat. And it's funny, you cannot. There's no way you're going to be able to drive anywhere on that property and not have that little side-by-side and that dog, Heidi, come chasing you down, wondering what you're stealing. And so Jake went over on the tractor to drop off one of the attachments. And if lo and behold, my dad doesn't make a U-turn and beeline right towards them when he spotted them. I'm gonna actually ask Jake what Dad said. I'm gonna watch, this would be funny. Let's drive over and ask Jake what my dad's exact words were. Hold on. You know what my grandpa would say? Don't even act like you wouldn't do it yourself. That's a guy or a girl, if your body was able to bend that way. Alright, I'm gonna teach you. Hey, hold on a minute. I got a question for you.
Oh, God.
No. I'm just curious about something. I saw you were coming back from the gully, dropping off that attachment. I saw my dad make a beeline, a U-turn ahead right for you. All I'm asking, what were my dad's first words out of his mouth?
What are you doing?
Did he have Heidi with him?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. What are you doing? What? And whenever you told him what you were doing, what did he say?
He said, all right, bud.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Were you old enough to remember Peepat?
Yeah.
You remember Peepat?
Yeah.
And has my dad not become the new Peepat?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, he spies on
I
everybody.
don't want to call it spying.
No, it is spying.
No, it's not spying. You get to a certain age where you just begin to be very keen and alert to everything going on around you. But the bad thing is you suspect the worst in everything.
Uh-huh.
So Peepat always suspected the worst. You're the grandson. I was Peepat's grandson, and I couldn't even go to my mom and dad's house without being accused of stealing something or about to steal something or scoping it out.
Every time I go over there.
Yeah.
For things that I didn't
Yeah,
do.
yeah, I know. So go ahead. I'm sorry to bother you. So what Jake is doing today, he's taking all of this old hay. These are different remnants of old leftover hay. And he's going to mound it all up for us. And we're going to have us a couple of more muck piles. And yes, I did tell him, do not light it on fire.